wanted to do a quick little review of this really cool little palette that I've had now for a few months. It's kind of been used in a variety of situations, plein air, studio, whatnot. And I think it's really great. It's the Frazer Price Palette Box that I got from Jackson's Art in the UK. It's a reintroduction of a palette that was produced about 30 years ago, and it was pretty popular at the time, though they did stop making it, and the aftermarket for these things was quite significant. But now, I think sometime last year perhaps, Jackson's reintroduced it. It's now an electroplated brass box, as opposed to, I think in 30 years ago it was a laminated brass, so it's better now. It's really quite cool. I have a very large-ish studio brass box that is kind of my main palette, but this is quite nice. It's very shiny. Comes in a box, right? It's got a little sheet of information about how to load it, but I'll just kind of talk about that in a moment here. It's quite lovely. I don't really use the box. I have a little bag that I put this thing in when I take it. But it's got a really nice, attractive quality to it, and what I really like about this is just kind of the thoughts that have gone into the function of it too. So if you look at the box itself, there's a little clasp on the side here which serves a couple of purposes. So you just pop that open and open her up, and then the little catch on the side there just falls towards the bottom and ends up becoming a little stand that helps keep this a little more level, which is great, because if you just flip this out of the way, then this thing drops down and the whole thing becomes kind of teeter-tottery. But you put that there and it makes it nice and stable when you're working with it in the studio. It's got a couple of little wing flaps here, so you have some nice little areas to mix your paint in, as well as another little flap there with an additional spot to mix some paint. And then to make it really, portable, little travel palette box kind of thing, you've got this little container here that has two separate wells that you can put some water in. It doesn't hold an awful lot of water, so if I like to work with big washes, and I'm often getting a lot of paint in my brush. These things don't really, they get dirty pretty quick. Same thing on the same token there. These are designed in a little water bottle as larger mixing wells, but if I'm gonna do a big painting, these just aren't big enough for me. But for small little sketchbook work and things like that, these are just right. This mixing area is quite good as well. I actually find I'm making bigger washes on these when I need to, as these just don't really hold as much as I would like. But you notice this is a little water bottle, right? So you can fill that up with some water and close it up. Now, if I fill this thing up completely full, I find that it does leak a little bit, so I end up with some water down in the bottom there. But if I fill it only to about 75%, I haven't had as many issues. So that said, I usually, when I go sketching, I have a small little water bottle that I keep in my bag, so I get most of my water from there. Anyways, these are all enameled, and it's quite a nice enamel. It cleans up really well. The whole thing cleans up really well. As a matter of fact, I cleaned it up before I did this. Just a little bit of paper towel and some water, and then for some of the more stainy pigments, I just use a little magic eraser and just kind of worked it around there, cleaned up, no problem. Now the thing that I really dig about this, aside from it being brass and pretty, is this little tray for the paint, because it comes right out. Just get in there and bring this thing out. And it has a little slot system in there. And you just slide your half pans out and you can replace them, which is very convenient if you want to switch up your colors. You can also, instead of going with all half pans as I've done here, you could put in, 3 full pans or a full pan and 4 half pans in a row, whatever way works best for you. So it is quite flexible that way. You do test out certain half pans. Some fit a little bit better than others. Some of the half pans I'm using in here are from some of the Daniel Smith half pan kits, and they fit really nicely in here. So do the Schminky ones. They fit really well too. So you can just swap these out, which is really nice. And it just goes right back in there. And I suppose if you worked with a very limited palette and only used 2 of the rows, you'd have an empty row. And if you had something like a little travel brush, maybe like a little Escoda travel brush or something, you could just drop a little travel brush right in the row there and have it all nice and contained. So this all just folds up, closes up, and then you just give it a little latch closed and you're all good to go. So if you're looking for a nice little brass palette upgrade to maybe some existing sketching box that you've got, this is really, really nice. And if you keep an eye on the Jackson's Art website, I have seen it go on sale. As a matter of fact, that's when I bought mine too. So I'll put a link to this box in the comments below. So hopefully this is helpful to you, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.